Hi, I have a mic and a pulse, and today I'd like to try to figure out what planet or moon Starfield will start on, based on what we know about the intro and the early game. And yes, I do have an answer, not one that would hold up in a court of law, but if I'm right, it's cool, and if I'm wrong, no one cares. So, as the game isn't out yet, and levels of obsession vary wildly, it's hard to tell what's already common knowledge, what's a widespread misconception, and what actually bears repeating. So, I'm just going to go over everything. While the trailer splits the introductory scenes into several scattered fragments, it's fairly clear how most of those fragments fit together. The character creator clearly shows that you're working at Argos Extractors, which does some kind of mining, and while being shown the ropes by your boss on the first day, you find an artifact which draws the attention of Constellation, who sent this guy to pick you up. Unfortunately, you get attacked by pirates and he's killed, which is why you have his ship, watch, and robot, as well as a helmet that looks exactly like his and has a bullet hole in it. Though we don't get an establishing shot of the area you're in, we can see that the sky is a sort of grayish-green and the rocks are a dark brown with some beige dirt. Where things get a little speculative is between then and when you get to Constellation. Todd says that you're invited to join them after a few initial encounters, but doesn't say how many. It is, however, highly likely that Crete is where the second mission takes place. As you are fighting the Crimson Fleet again, you go there with very low-level gear, and the mission indicator calls it one small step, which would be very fitting for the first world you travel to, and much less so for any other mission. While nothing in the big trailer tells us why we're fighting the pirates here, this dialogue scene from the first Constellation Questions video is likely to be a peaceful alternative to the shootout on Crete, given that the background of that dialogue very closely lines up with the scenery of Crete's climactic firefight. Though the person you're talking to doesn't appear to be Brogan, the sort of boss of the Crete fight, his line, "You're not talking us out of this score," combined with the argument that Constellation isn't after treasure, does support the idea that you're trying to get back the artifact they stole by arguing that it isn't valuable enough to die for. So, even though Crete is probably the second mission, that doesn't actually tell us where the first is, as while they're probably in the same system due to the natural story progression of your first local spaceflight taking place before your first interstellar one, we don't know what system Crete is in, just that it's a moon of Ansalon. We can, however, say that it's almost certainly not in Alpha Centauri, as while Alpha Centauri does have a planet that has both moons and an unknown name, every other known planet and moon in the system is named after an astronaut, and I see no reason why the fourth would be different. So if we're looking for an early game system that isn't Alpha Centauri, what possibilities does that leave us? Well, we can see in the trailer that the character in this example playthrough is still at the beginning of the game, having not even explored most of the Alpha Centauri system yet, and when we go out to the galaxy map, we see that it's totally unmarked except for the names of a few systems and some kind of point of interest markers above Alpha Centauri and Narion. As within Alpha C, the same markers present over two planets and a moon, it seems more likely to mean that you've been somewhere than to indicate some special significance of it, and it might even be a stylized lander foot to symbolize that you've landed. Anyway, if Narion is the only other system to have that marker that early in the game, then Narion is likely to be the system the game starts in. And although we know very little about it, we do know that the moon Vectera, which was used to demonstrate the outpost building system, is in it. And not only is it in the right system, but Vectera also has the same colored sky and same colored terrain as the intro, plus the hostile atmospheric conditions, negative 199 Celsius and only 1% O2, that would necessitate everyone be wearing spacesuits as in the intro, which I think makes it very likely overall that Vectera will be the place that Starfield starts. The name means vector in French, by the way, though I can't find any significance for Narion, which isn't even the name of any star system in real life yet. So that's all. My apologies if you already knew all that, and peace out.